Hi, we apologize for the technical difficulties. We are back. This is Inside the Birds Pregame Live. Geoff Mosher, Adam Caplan, Jason Avant, of course, and Greg Cosell. We were in the middle of discussing a couple of the unsung heroes on the Eagles defense, James Bradberry, Kazir White, and going through the interception that Bradberry had last week against the Jaguars.
Well, the first thing is that we got to thank Doug Peterson for the call, right? Because that play is too tight. It was on the 15-yard line. A post-will concept that tight to the goal line is a very, you're right at the precipice there. It's a 20 and out call, right? 20 to 35, somewhere in there. That's where that play is going to get. So now it causes the cornerback to be able to play two.
Right.
Like he did. He passed him off. Another thing, too, we can also thank Marvin Jones, because Marvin Jones was just running the lines. When you see a cornerback that doesn't gain depth, you collision him. There's nothing that says you can't go down and give that guy a shoulder and stay high, right, and get that throw off. But James Bradberry recognized that Doug Peterson made a mistake and played in between two defenders. Trevor Lawrence was late, read the wrong guy, and he made the play. But that's what you get when you have veteran players that understand these concepts. He recognized the concept that it was a blitz, so he flat-foot readed it and ended up with a play being made.
That's a great point, because you're trying to get two through his zone.
Right.
So you're trying to have the outside receiver who's running the post get the corner out of there.
Yeah.
So the wheel comes into the same third or quarter that the corner is responsible for.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Right. So it's two through his zone, which everybody runs, but then the corner, and he's a veteran, he has to kind of see both.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
That receiver can make that play.
Yeah.
He runs a post. That's not a post.
Right.
That's a don't let the guy intercept the ball route.
He's a clear guy.
You stay high as you need to
yeah.
in order to take two people.
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right. A reminder to check out our friends at phlsportsnation.com. They're enhancing the fans' experience of all Philadelphia sports teams. Their coverage of all Philadelphia sports teams for the fan, by the fan is their motto. So check them out at phlsportsnation.com and on Twitter at phlsportsnation. Kazir White, he might finally be the guy that kind of breaks the team's string of one-year signing stopgap to linebacker. Adam, you said you thought he would be the one, and he certainly has played well.
Our early returns we were getting from the OTA practices were really strong.
Yeah.
Quite frankly, the guys who were before him, his predecessors like Eric Wilson, who continues to jump team to team, not very good, even in OTAs.
Right.
Corey Nelson, not very good. There are other guys in the last 5 or 6 years that just didn't do the job. But they wanted to have bigger linebackers with the Chargers, so I understand why they walked away from him. Mm-hmm. Kazir White has been tremendous. Mm-hmm. You guys see the tape. He's been a great story for them. It's not perfect. He's had a very good run here. It's never perfect.
Is that a one-year deal?
Yes.
Yeah, one-year deal.
And he's played himself into probably coming back next year if this continues.
He has high production. He's around the football, and I like the combination between T.J. Edwards. I think there are two opposite type of players. One is a speed guy that you can put in situations if you need him, and one is more of an all-around player. So you got to give him credit. He's definitely been a stick and stay.
I think one guy who's worth mentioning too, you didn't mention, is Marcus Epps.
Marcus Epps. Oh,
Sure.
I think Marcus Epps has played consistently good football.
Yes.
You know, you wouldn't call him an explosive athlete, but I think he sees things really well. He can play downhill. He can play on the back end. You know, like I said, you wouldn't say in terms of pure physical traits that he's everything you want, but I think he's somewhat like T.J. Edwards in the sense that he sees the game really well.
Sure.
Yeah.
And that allows him to play faster.
Gotcha.
And he's shown himself to be a really reliable tackler.
Yep.
He's been in some open field situations and made some hard tackles. You know, guys usually check up. He's running through. I love that.
Yeah.
I
love him.
I love it.
You know this. I've been talking about it, for 2 years. I
Epps,
really liked Marcus Epps. Even when he was getting 15 snaps a game, I thought he showed himself to be a guy who could be a quality starting safety in the league.
Nice. You know, when I think of some of these guys that we're talking about, the Kazir Whites, Marcus Epps, the unsung guys who play well, it makes me think about our new partners, which is MOJO. We've talked about this. This is, to me, it's going to be the next wave in, it's not fantasy football, but it's a way for sports fans to really test their knowledge and get a guy on the way up or sell a guy when he's on the way down. MOJO is an app that allows you to kind of treat the sports landscape like the stock market. It's the holy grail for sports fans because you can cash in on your passion and invest in what you know and love. They work with skill position players only, so we're talking about running backs, wide receivers, tight ends. They all have share prices, right? And so if you can get them low and watch as they flourish in their career, you can make some money. Or if you think you got them at the top and it's time to say goodbye while the stock price is high, you sell low, right? Or you sell at that point. So to me, it's a great combination of playing the stock market and also fantasy football, two things that everybody loves to do. So MOJO is available in New Jersey on iOS, and just by downloading the app, you've got a chance to win up to $10,000 in free shares of player stock. There'll be a link in the description box of this video on YouTube where you can click and you can get the app downloaded and be involved in the contest. You got to be 21 or older, physically located in New Jersey to trade up on MOJO, to trade on MOJO. And if you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. But we're going to get to our player of the game segment now, and some of these guys who we've all listed as our player of the game at one point would have been great on MOJO to get, but now you got to say, is this the time to sell, or is it to keep your stock going? And let's go with our players of the game, Adam. Who is your player of the game for today?
Got to be Dallas Goedert. Again, the tight end numbers are crazy.
Would have been great to buy low last year,
For sure. I mean, he's had a good season. As we were talking about, we should get the ball more. But the bottom line is, when you look at his situation, it's going to be a wonderful opportunity. There's a lot of area for tight ends to run, and he's that guy. We forget how athletic this guy is.
Yes.
One of the most athletic tight ends of the league, and I love him this game. He would be my player of the game.
Someone asked, one of our Patreon subscribers said, will there be as many screens? Carl Stevens says, will there be as many screens? And like we talked about, the tight end screen has been a big part of their offense so far. Jay, do you like the tight end screen for them more so than the running back or receiver screen? You talked about what goes into it. But
do I like it more? I like it just because of the player that you're getting the ball to.
Right. Because of Goddard.
And then there's no clear indicators that he's going to get the screen. So that's always a good thing. We have a guy this good. However, I don't necessarily know how great a screen is with the team that they're playing, with how veteran they are up front.
Okay.
J.J. Watt and those types of things. Those plays usually can spell destruction with a guy like J.J. Watt.
All right, good to know. Very good. All right, Jason, who is your player of the game?
My player of the game, I think, I was under the gun, so I think I went Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, you did the cop-out. You picked the quarterback.
I know the feeling. I know the feeling.
All right, so Jalen Hurts, from a MOJO standpoint, you wanted to buy him going into the year. Right now, it's about as high as it can get. At 4-0, it's going to be tough. Now might be a time, I don't want to upset people, where you think about maybe selling the Jalen Hurts stock at its highest value. I don't know. Maybe I'm not good at the stock market, so maybe you just hold on to it.
Hold on, he's still going up.
It's still going up?
He's still going up.
All right, so Jason's player of the game is Jalen Hurts. Greg, your player of the game.
Well, I'm really struggling here because I was thinking like Adam, and that's really a bad thing. If I start thinking like Caplan, I'm really in trouble.
I agree.
Yeah,
My brain doesn't transfer, thankfully.
Yeah. So I went with Dallas Goedert too, because in studying the Cards defense and how they play, I just thought that this could really be a Goddard game, that he was going to get more targets.
Gotcha.
I would think, and again, hey, I'm not studying certainly like the Eagles coaching staff, because they've got 10, 12 guys doing this and I'm one guy, but it just seems in terms of studying how they play, I think the tight end is a really important factor for the Eagles, and that they struggle with the tight end position.
This is a situation where the data matches the tape.
Yes.
Right.
You get a ton of production. Greg just said there's such voids in their zone.
Yeah.
This could be the first high-volume game for Goddard, but the only issue is they've got to handle the blitz, and Driscoll playing left tackle, to me, is the key to for them to score a lot of points, Driscoll's got to hold up. Because the worst thing you could do is, okay, it's not working, you got to keep Goddard in.
Well, Driscoll, to me, struggled a little bit last week with speed to power. And the one guy, and it's not Watt in this game, but Marcus Golden is a really good speed to power rusher.
Yeah, he's been for a while. One of those underrated guys.
So he's the guy that I'm curious to see how Driscoll handles.
All right. Well, my player of the game is going to be Devontae Smith. I feel like it's going to be you talked about how much zone they're playing and not man, and I think there's going to be opportunities for both him and Goddard to really carve their niche in this offense today. So I can see something like a 6-catch, 120 yards, and maybe a touchdown or two for Devontae Smith. Yeah, 120 yards. Yeah, absolutely.
Wow, could we have a 300-yard game here?
Who was the big game he had? Was that against the Vikings that he had it against?
The Commanders.
Or was it the Commanders? Okay. So we'll see. Time for Devontae Smith to have another big game. All right, before we get into this, we go with our scores. Jason Avant and I have a score to settle for next week.
Okay.
Oh, boy.
All right? It's his team versus my team on Saturday.
Oh, boy.
1 o'clock at the Big House.
Wait, so that's what time is that game Eastern
I
time?
believe it's 1 o'clock, right?
Yeah, it's a noon game.
And you'll be there doing
Noon game.
sideline
Oh,
radio.
wow.
Oh,
Yeah,
noon. Okay. ABC?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah. 5.
You'll be there doing sideline radio for University of Michigan?
I will be there.
All right. So my deal with you, I'm not going to put. I can't match money with a guy who's made millions in his career. So my deal for you is next week, if my Penn State Nittany Lions win, you have to sing the fight song at the end of this show.
Which fight song?
The Penn State fight song.
I don't know what it is.
Dear Old State. I'll print it out for you. Don't worry.
Oh, boy.
Your Wolverines win. I will sing "Hail to the Victors" at the end of the show. Are you up for that challenge?
End of the show. Come on.
Challenge. I'm up for it.
You're up for the challenge?
I'm up for it.
Who wants to see Jason Avant sing the Penn State fight song?
I would love to see it.
I have a
You're
feeling.
not going to say. You're not going to hold
Oh,
up
he's
your
not
end of
holding the
bargain?
bet. He's
No,
not taking the bet.
I'm going to hold my, but you guys are not going to win.
Oh, you might be right about that.
I don't know. I could be. I'm not a good prognosticator, but I'd be working on your pipes this week, Jeff.
I will be.
Oh.
All right. We will
Say
see.
Michigan is better than
The only thing I'm worried about is that we have such a good audience. I don't want to lose people at the end
Right,
of the
right.
show because I have to sing "Hail to the Victors." But people might want me to see me sing that. So we'll see. All right, that is our challenge. That is one of the bets that you can make here at Rivers Casino and Sportsbook. No, you can't make that bet here, but you can make a lot of bets here at Rivers Casino and Sportsbook in Philadelphia, and you can also use the Bet Rivers app. And remember, food from Jack's Bar and Grill, available at every weekend, every Birds game. It includes $2 Miller Lights, $15 bottomless chips and salsa, $12 pretzel bites, $16 easy peel shrimp. That is a great deal here at Jack's Bar and Grill. They also have the home field advantage spin and win contest. Bettors who place qualifying game day bets in the Bet Rivers Sportsbook can enter the spin to win contest held every Eagles home game. You enter by placing at least a $50 bet on pro football. Maximum number of entries per wager is 3 per transaction. 8 winners are pulled via random drawing to spin the wheel. Prizes include free play, cash, 2 tickets to a Birds home game, and if the Birds win, 2 more winners are randomly selected. They've also have an amazing Choose the Champs weekly pick'em challenge. All that and here at Rivers Casino and Sportsbook, where Philly loves a winner. All right, we have checked the Bet Rivers app. We have checked also here at the Sportsbook. The line from Bet Rivers is Eagles favored yet again, 5th time in 5 games, by 5.5 with an over-under of 49. So let's get with our selections. Jason, I'll start with you. Who wins the game?
What did I have? 24-23?
You did have the Eagles
Birds?
winning 24-23.
Yeah, I think it's we haven't won there, and I think it's going to be a very close game just here with the
Okay.
crowd noise, the blitzing.
No kicker or backup kicker, I should
exactly.
say.
Yeah,
All right.
I think they'll put together a game plan that makes it interesting. For
All
us.
right. Jason Avant says Birds win, does not cover, and they give them a little lower than the over-under. Greg Cosell, who wins this game?
Did I say 31-21?
You did say Eagles 31, Cards 21.
There you go. That's what I said then.
All right, so you believe the Eagles cover? You believe the Eagles cover, and they're a little bit over.
That's what the coin flip said.
That's what the coin flip said. All right.
That's what your gut told
Do
you.
you want to amend that after
No,
any of the
no,
discussion today?
no.
Okay. All right, 31-21. Adam, who wins this game?
I got a 30-17 Eagles.
Big. That's a big cover right there.
Well, look, and then Greg just broke down when he's looking at the tape. He's not sure what he's seeing from their offense.
Uh-huh.
Yes, we know randomly Kyler can play great anytime, but I have a high trust in this coaching staff so far. I really do.
All right, well, it's going to be a clean sweep. I have also picked the Eagles to win 23-17, so I do think that they are just going to barely cover, and that's a little bit over the 49 total. So sounds like Eagles cover today if you take everybody other than Jason who thinks it's going to be a little bit closer. Remember, you can bet the game right here at the Casinos River and Sportsbook on Delaware Ave in Philadelphia or on the Bet Rivers app. We want to thank Rivers Casino, Sky Motor Cars. I forgot to do our read for our great production team. Let me just tell you something about Zach and Jim from Public Square Media and from Rebel Hill Productions. They are back and they are the best. They bring the controls, everything. They're behind the scenes. They bring this great show to life. So we want to thank Public Square and Rebel Hill. If you need to have your podcast produced, you need to have your video produced, you want to have anything produced with the high-level graphics and production, you reach out to Zach and Jim from Public Square and Rebel Hill to produce your podcast web show. They will bring it to life. So again, we thank them. We'll be back next Sunday, 5 p.m. to preview Eagles-Dallas. So make sure you're checking out Inside the Birds post-game with me, Adam Caplan, and Trey Thomas after the show. Everybody enjoy the 1 o'clock games and enjoy Eagles-Cardinals today.